everyone, welcome to the Teacher Surgery, where we give real and relatable information to parents like yourself or people that are just here to learn. This is a safe space, no silly question. No question is a silly question, should I say. I'm Kelly, I'm your host, and I am joined by the lovely Bola, Nyasha and Ryma. Ladies, you're looking beautiful today. Thank you.
How are you?
Thank you, Bola. Thank you. I appreciate that. Without further ado, I want to give some context to this question. The question is, what is the worst teaching practice you have witnessed? But I think it comes from a parent, and they want to understand is, like, during the past year, there's been lots of different styles around how young people have been taught, maybe online, maybe on their virtual platforms. What are some of the worst teaching styles that you've experienced yourself or seen in a school? I know, like, lots of friends have said you have a supply teacher there, and actually, you know that, like, I know personally from school, supply teacher, your teacher right there, that's a free lesson, do what you want. You're going to chat and catch up with your friends, like, playtime continues. So what are the differing styles that you've seen? What are the kind of the worst teaching practices you've personally seen in school?
Okay, me personally, I think supply teachers, definitely. Sorry.
Well, are you just taking that because I said it?
No.
Can we big up all the supply teachers out there who might
like,
be in between a job?
No, I kind of feel like sometimes because they're supply teachers, they don't put that oomph in their teaching and delivery of the lessons. So, for example, if they're doing a lesson and the kids are chatting and not listening, they don't really, some of them, not all of them, they don't really take it into account. They just want to get the day done and go home because they know they're not coming back to that school.
Can I just ask you something about supply teachers? Are they teachers there, like their agency, like I'm here in the school for one day, or could it be, or you have like a supply teacher who just floats around to different subjects?
Yeah,
they just do that?
Vary.
Or are they contracted for like 6 months? Our French teachers out?
I've been a supply teacher, you know, and one of the things that
you committed, Nyasha?
Very committed.
I hope 100%. So.
I would never the thing is, I never let any student ever know that I was a supply teacher when I came in. I would always say, well, I'm just here because I normally teach at this particular school. However, I've been asked to come in and teach and work with you. And that just changed the whole dynamics of the class. Because then no kid was going, supply teachers coming in, and it just changed everything. People tend to call them agency staff, really, not so much supply teachers. You can't just criticise, because I think sometimes the school, what they do is they aren't prepared. They haven't prepared work. This teacher has just come in, and maybe they're teaching for 1 week. They don't know the class, they don't know the students, they haven't got any
induction
reports,
into the
nothing.
school.
And then the teachers are criticising them because they're agency staff. Well, no, it's actually, it says a lot about the school as well. So I think it's important that we don't look at agency staff and say, oh, they're the ones, that's the reason. However, again, some of them do, you know, the difference with suppliers, you can leave at a time. So if you think, oh God, this is too much, then you can leave. I've witnessed very bad teaching in variations, because my job before was an actual advanced practitioner. So I used to teach teachers how to teach. I've witnessed teachers who have absolutely no control of the students in the class. You know, sometimes the kids are throwing, one of my first early years of teaching, when I first started, I used to be in the class downstairs. Upstairs, every single day, there would be a chair thrown on the grass.
Wow.
Every single day, this chair was repeatedly thrown in whatever class. The class, all the students could hear up and down, people running up and down in the corridors. Okay, and so that to me was just, and I was just in NQT at the time, thinking, I just want to pass, I just want to get through this.
What's
NQT, new qualified teacher. So I was just new to the game. So I've witnessed...
Just fresh.
Okay,
fresh
on the block.
Okay, good, good. I'm glad you cleared that up. Right?
So I saw that. I just thought, I never want to be that teacher. I never want to be that teacher that can't control a class. It's just, it's sad, because this is what's going on in the classroom, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you've witnessed people just, but...
So Nyasha, I just want to touch on that point, right? Because I remember, when my daughter had parents' evening once, the teacher just said, the class is so unruly, that she's in, basically my job is just to keep them calm until they move to the next lesson.
That's
just
disgusting.
to keep them facilitated.
That's terrible.
I was so, really shocked. If you see a teacher can't control a classroom, what are some of the points you're going to point out and say, maybe we could try this, or maybe you should do this? Because I imagine for some teachers, if they're newly qualified or, like whatever it might be, you just feel like, wow, you might feel overwhelmed going into a classroom. And actually, I think sometimes we don't realise it can be intimidating. Like there's 30, 35 people, they're looking at you like, so,
but I think
what you're going to do.
Like I've said in previous episodes, that you do definitely need to make sure that you've got the rules, safety rules in place. You've also got, things that are where children feel free, but at the same time you have, no, you're not allowed to do this. There has to be some sort of code, boundaries and rules, and you have to stick to them. If you change, if today you've told a student off about something, and then the next week you've just left him, this then becomes the problem.
Yeah, or like last week you let John do this, but
That's
this week Sally's fine doing that. So it was,
and
where's the boundaries?
Yeah, and then there's been teachers as well that in terms of teaching practice, I mean, I've seen teachers who staggered in drunk,
oh wow.
And students have actually smelled alcohol in their breath. And I mean, that's totally unacceptable. Yeah, and there have been teachers also who've rumoured to be taking drugs as well in a particular institution that I was in at the time, and people going to the toilets and snorting a bit of coke and so forth. So that's, to me, I think that's one of the worst type of teaching I've ever come across.
So Ryma, just to bring you in, what are some of the worst teaching practices you've witnessed?
Do you know what? Oh God. Do you know what? A boring lesson, like literally where you can tell, it's not even a lesson that they've planned. They've just taken off with someone else and they're literally reading slide for slide. Like I remember being in a particular lesson, I was just observing and I was literally falling asleep myself. Yeah. Where you catch yourself before your head just hits the floor. I looked around and I was I was like, what is this? And I remember looking around and some of the other kids were like,
Miss, you nearly hit the floor.
No, they were just looking at me like, Miss, you see like what we have to go through, and I think that is just one of the worst sort of lessons. Like, we have to do a lot as teachers, but I think that's our main job, like to actually engage with the kids. And if you're not engaging with them, you need to go back. You need to go back and just figure it out. But that's probably like the worst practice I've seen, like where it's just.
Can I ask you something? Because if there's a teacher at home who's watching this or on their way home from school thinking, I've got a lesson tomorrow, haven't done anything, what should we do? Like, I believe that teaching should be inspiring. It should be a really great experience for teachers and the children. But where do I go for more inspiration? Where could I look for?
I mean, you can definitely like have a look at lessons that are already there. I mean, that's what we do as teachers. We share resources, but you've got to make it your own. It's kind of like, I don't know, I've been given it
to your class, isn't it?
Or you've been given a script and you're just reading it off of the
and I also
the script,
believe
the page.
Make your life easy. I deal with younger kids. If you see that, I don't know, Johnny is messing around with Gemma too much, switch them up. Change their partners. Make your life easy as a teacher.
Rewards as well, and also writing their names.
Rewards,
up on,
what kind?
Like,
are they giving out money in schools?
Writing up. I've used that as a discipline as well, and writing up names in green. Those are doing good, and then those who are late, writing them in red. So, yeah.
Thank you, ladies. As always, a very lovely and like lots of information shared chat. As always, as we finish our conversation, I have some bonus questions for you. Bola?
Yeah, I was waiting.
Okay.
I was waiting.
Well, it's a yellow and blue.
Yellow
and green situation,
Thank
sorry.
you very much. You can read it.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Bola. Oh, well, I think we're going to get a unanimous yes. Have you felt overworked and underappreciated as an educator?
Kelly,
Yeah.
hold on.
Hello.
Listen. No, I'm joking. But teachers are overworked.
And underappreciated.
Underappreciated.
And underpaid.
Underpaid.
Oh my God, I think we're going
And
to get...
please don't say, oh, but you get 6 weeks
yeah,
holiday.
that's the worst thing you can
And
say.
you
Most
finish
of
at
us are recovering
3:30.
from the 6 weeks. You know, most of us are
Exactly.
just about finding ourselves
Exactly.
in that 6 weeks.
But all joking aside, it's a demanding profession, and I think sometimes it's just not appreciated. I think all throughout the pandemic, I think that's when we really saw how underappreciated we are.
Yes.
As
And parents tried to teach them,
Yeah.
so, and they were screaming at their kids
there was
and shouting.
there was that end of it, but there was also the other end of, oh, you know, teachers haven't been teaching for about 9 months now, and they're still getting paid. I'm like, hold on.
I was still teaching on Zoom.
Zoom, and
So
actually
was I.
it was a lot more difficult because I was actually marking every single piece of work in which your child was submitting. So it was actually triple the workload. So thank you, give me my bonus. Next question.
Tell Boris. Tell Boris.
Yeah.
But can I just say, on behalf of all parents, and even if you're not a parent, I think the past year, whatever you thought, actually, I saw it in real life, and I saw it with colleagues as well. People really did recognise the contribution that you guys make. So, on behalf of everyone, thank you. And your efforts, I really appreciate it, because it was a really magnificent job just to get through the year, and actually everything you do in is really valid and appreciated, and not just in the COVID years, but I guess you were more recognised as a needed resource. So if Boris is by any chance listening, then absolutely,
us more, Boris.
yes, get your bonus, get your bonus. Guys, that's the end of the session. Thank you for listening and tuning in. If you do have a question or a comment, put it below. Anything we've picked up today, we will share in the notes below. Like, subscribe, share. I think it's in that order. I hope it's in that order. Do it in any order. So we should tell people about us. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.